What's going on, folks? You're here chilling with real Satoshi Aoki, back at ya with another blockchain gaming and Gala Games video. So I came across this tweet from Brycent at Brycent underscore on Twitter, and I thought it was really important for me to create a little video for you today talking a little bit about it. He says the top 5 most played games on Steam have one thing in common. They are all free to play. But you think someone is going to create a crypto wallet and pay $200+ to play your NFT game. Web3 gaming onboarding needs to be easier and cheaper than what's currently in the market. Now, it's actually extremely refreshing to see someone with a reality check here. I could not agree more with what Bryson is saying with this tweet here. I think that in the space at the moment of blockchain gaming, there is way too much activity in terms of people talking about shilling projects, shilling coins. But the fact of the matter is, he's totally right, guys. How are you going to get thousands, millions of people into your games playing $200+ for these games? It's simply not going to happen. Of course, I can't sit here and explicitly tell you that these projects aren't necessarily going to be a success. But I think generally speaking, what a lot of these NFT gaming projects are trying to do with charging people so much money to actually go ahead and play these games, I don't think it's going to work, and it hasn't been done before. Alright, so it's massively risky. Why not follow a model that is successful and has succeeded in the past already and apply the blockchain gaming technology to that? If we have a look at the top 5 games on Steam here, again, they are all free to play. We have Counter-Strike, Global Offensive, a first-person shooter, current players, 1.2 mil. You got your Peak today, 1.2 mil as well. You got your Dota 2, okay? The MOBA, 5v5, also free to play, current players, 641,000. Apex Legends. Don't know too much about it. I think it's kind of like a first-person shooter as well. Okay, don't know if it's a battle royale or just like a straight-up team deathmatch style game, but I have seen it and it actually looks really cool. We'll take a look at a bit of the gameplay in a moment for these games anyway. Still, 518,000 for that game. PUBG Battlegrounds. Absolutely obsessed with this game right now. It's a battle royale. Just so good, and also really cool, it's also available on mobile. 352,000 players currently. And Lost Ark, it's kind of like an RPG sort of fantasy style game. Again, not really my jam at the moment, used to kind of be into those games, but also looks really cool with 178,000 current players. Then if some of you are then wondering, well, okay, but if it's free to play, then how are they going to make any money and keep the game going forward? Well, it's very easy, okay? What is the revenue model for these games? Are they sustained solely by in-game purchases? Yes, they all have IGP, in-game purchase models. So essentially, guys, all of these games here, okay, at least I know for Dota 2, for PUBG, Counter-Strike, I'm not sure about Apex Legends, not 100% sure about Lost Ark, but you can all buy in-game skins for this game, which go towards the revenue model of this game, okay? Now, I guess, what's the downside here versus the current model that NFT gaming is trying to adopt? Of course, with NFT gaming, if everyone's just coming in to play $200+, obviously that's a generalization, but if it is for every single game, that's a lot more early stage revenue for these particular projects, okay? So a lot more money for the project, for the companies in the short to medium term. Hopefully they would reinvest that money back into the game to create a more fun game moving forward. The trouble is, it may not be sustainable, okay? So this kind of revenue model, it's going to be a lot more slow in the beginning, less income as you're building up that game, okay? So the idea would be to have a early stage investment to sustain you over maybe a 1 to 5 year period, build up the game and encourage people to then buy these in-game skins, whether it be for weapons or anything like that, and actually use those skins to show off sort of like your persona in the metaverse. But these skins, they don't give you any in-game benefits as such, they're just for looks, and whether you've got a skin or not, you still have equal opportunity to beat the other person, whether it's in Counter-Strike, Dota, or Apex Legends. Now, some of you might think, well, who cares if, these top 5 games are doing really well on Steam? Well, Steam is like a marketplace for games where people go, and it's really just the number one for PC, so it can't really be argued with, guys. This is what people want to play. These are the kinds of games that people want to play that you are looking at right now. This one here is Counter-Strike, okay? Obviously, Counter-Strike has been around since, probably close to when I was actually born, and it's been successful for a long time. People continuing to buy skins. The revenue model works. Okay, so why not copy a game like this? Then we've got Dota 2, okay. I would say for Gala Games, the closest one they've got to this is the MOBA and SpiderTanks, okay, which I think is actually an excellent game. Gameplay is really fun, mechanics are good, and you do kind of always get that feeling, well, at least I do, of, oh, maybe I'll just have one more game, try and get that win, try and earn a little bit more silk, see if I can earn $1 for the entire week, okay. But Dota 2, guys, again, it doesn't have any in-game advantage like SpiderTanks does, okay. Dota 2, you can just buy the skins, but it doesn't matter, okay. If you're a beginner, you can't just come in as a beginner, spend $1 million and beat someone who's come in with like 5 years experience, okay, which is something you can potentially do on a game like SpiderTanks. So I think SpiderTanks have got the gameplay down pat really, really well, but I think that pay-to-win model maybe just needs to be revised a little bit. Then we've got Apex Legends. Again, I think this is like a first-person shooter. I'm not sure if it's like a Battle Royale style necessarily or just like a team deathmatch style game, but again, looks really fun. Okay, I'll probably give this game a crack at some point. I'm just a little bit strapped for time at the moment. But again, I'm pretty sure that this one also works on an in-game skin purchase economy. Then we've got PUBG, guys. I believe this is the mobile version. Okay, so it looks a little bit more like cartoon-like, but this is a Battle Royale. So I would say the closest game that Gala Games has to this is Grit. Now, Grit looks like it's going to be a really fun game. The gameplay still needs a bit of work. Okay, I've tested out the Thursday open key sort of gameplay areas maybe once or twice, okay, and it's okay. I've done a couple of live streams on it. I'm pretty bad at the game. Mechanics for the game, again, need to be improved, but definitely some huge potential there going forward. But again, it's that whole pay-to-win thing, okay. They need to have a free-to-play element. I'm not quite sure if they do, not quite sure if there's an updated light paper for Grit at the moment, but I'm definitely pretty bullish on Grit going forward. So good to see Gala Games have got something like that on the horizon. And then we got Lost Ark Dungeon, okay, so now Gala Games, they got a couple games that are maybe a little bit like this. I don't think anything that's exactly like this, okay, so not necessarily the biggest deal. Alright, this is the number 5 game, alright, extremely competitive space though when it comes to RPGs, but I'm sure that Gala Games will probably hit the nail on the head eventually with one of these games. So the closest game that we've got to Counter-Strike is probably going to be Last Expedition. It is a little bit different, guys. Last Expedition is going to be a PvP VE type game, okay, so you entered into a drop zone, extract minerals into an alien world, and you'll be contesting against other teams as well, okay, so it definitely looks like a promising game, and not exactly like Counter-Strike, but maybe the closest one that they would have at the moment on their platform. Then when it comes to Dota, guys, we've got SpiderTanks, as mentioned before, okay, so it is the current MOBA on Gala Games, so hopefully they just really have a think about that pay-to-win element, because I know there have been a lot of complaints about it already from people within the Gala Games community, but again, like I said, really fun, engaging game, and really hope that they can amend the future of this game. And of course, we've got Mirandus, guys, the flagship game for Gala Games. Now, this is probably the one that's going to be most similar to Lost Ark, okay, so I still think there's probably some major differences there, but in terms of it being an RPG fantasy style, medieval style game, this is going to be the closest one. And of course, we've got Grit, guys, which is without a doubt definitely very, very similar, if not almost exactly the same as PUBG, okay, it's just Western style, gunslingers, gun shooters, you can go in solo, you can go in with a team, but yeah, very promising. Like I said, just needs to work on that gameplay a little bit, and hopefully has a really solid free-to-play element as well, and hopefully they can focus a bit more on that skin economy too. Alrighty folks, so just to wrap up the video, we'll take a bit of a look at the Gala token, down 5.7% for the last 24 hours, sitting just up above 3 cents. So, you know, you're going to see on Twitter and on socials and on YouTube, of course, a lot of people fighting the Gala token, but it's not fair, guys. You can't go singling out tokens when you've had this USDC news as well. You've had BTC dropping under 20,000 US dollars. Okay, of course, altcoins are going to suffer drastically. Okay, it's not just Gala that's suffering. Okay, it's the momentum of the entire markets. Alright, so don't get sucked into the FUD, just ignore all that stuff, okay? See it as a buying opportunity only if you are thinking that Gala Games is going to be hanging around for the next 1 to 5 years in the blockchain gaming space. I'm personally still very bullish. I'm still holding. I'm not selling any of my Gala. I'm just holding it long term, guys. I don't have an exit strategy till probably around 50 to 80 cents, and then I'll look to taking a few profits there. And again, like I say all the time, don't forget, guys, 22,673.55% about 2 years ago. That's an average of 11,000% per year based on a 2-year history, guys. So if you enjoyed this video, you enjoyed the unbiased Gala Games content, make sure you do smash the like button, subscribe. Let me know in the comments what you thought about this video. If you agree with what I'm saying about these games, whether maybe Gala Games and other blockchain games need to kind of copy these kinds of existing games that have already been extremely successful on Steam and implement more of that sort of in-game purchase skin economy that isn't maybe so driven towards pay to win, okay? Again, not saying that pay-to-win can't work entirely, but I think if a game is dominated by that pay-to-win element, it is going to, without a doubt, restrict new onboarding of users. There will be an early onboarding for people that want to make money in the early stages, but like Axie Infinity, like sort of some other games as well. They will just die out, and yeah, it's just not going to be sustainable. So make sure you subscribe as well, guys, and we'll catch you next time. Cheers.